rapid development of information and communications technologies, or ICTs, and the advent of the Internet have introduced an entirely new dimension to the sexual exploitation of children. All forms of violence against children, including online sexual exploitation, are unacceptable and a direct assault to the inviolable, inherent dignity of every child. So what are the major threats to children online? Child sexual abuse material, or CSAM, depicts acts of sexual abuse material and/or focusing on the genitalia of the child. Computer or digitally generated child sexual abuse material. These are materials with artificially created child representing in a sexual activity or in a sexualized manner. Online grooming for sexual purposes means communicating with a child over the internet with one intention. These are to establish a relationship with a child to facilitate either online or offline sexual contact. It also may include manipulation or incitement to take part in different forms of exploitative or abusive sexual activities, such as performing sexual acts in front of a webcam, or the production of child sexual abuse material or self-generated sexual materials. Sexting refers to the process by which someone intentionally shares sexually explicit messages, images, or self-generated sexualized images of themselves. There are also many cases of unwanted sexting. This refers to the non-consensual aspects of the activity, such as lack of consent in sharing or receiving sexually explicit photos or messages. Sexual extortion, also called sextortion, is the blackmailing of an adult or a child with the help of self-generated images of that person in order to extort sexual favors, money, or other benefits from him or under the threat of sharing the material beyond the consent of the depicted person. This particular form of sexual exploitation transcends national borders, as offenders can be located anywhere, even in a different country from their victims.
Our next guest is an associate professor from the Department of Speech, Communication, and Theater Arts, and is currently the coordinator of the UP Diliman Office of Anti-Sexual Harassment. She took her BA Speech and Drama and MA in Speech Communication from the DSCTA. She finished her PhD in Anthropology in UP Diliman. She is currently a member of the Philippine National Police Women and Children Protection Centers Advisory Council. And let us now welcome Dr. Teresa Paulo S. De Luna, or Dr. TP. Welcome, Dr. TP.
Thank you, Marisol and Kath. Thank you for inviting me here. Na-starstruck din ako kay Sister. Speechless, and marami akong natutunan kanina sa pakikinig sa kanya. Thank you for inviting me here. I hope I can contribute something dito sa ating talakayan.
It's such a pleasure to have you here with us on CyberChat, Dr. TP. CyberChat's past episodes mentioned that there were 45,000 cases of OSEC reported by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, or NICNIC, in 2017. And this grew to 600,000 by the end of 2018. As a doctor of anthropology, Dr. TP, who has tackled the issue of online spaces, how do you explain the phenomenon of online sexual abuse and exploitation of women and children?
That is a very timely question and issue. The battlefield has grown, no? And this battlefield is extended and expanded by the online space. So meron po tayong online space. This is the new battlefield. Actually, hindi lang siya new, kundi extension siya, expansion siya. Hindi naman nawala yung face-to-face, yung offline abuse. But it's worse now because dumami yung mga espasyo. And what's worse here is that this space, hindi lang siya isang espasyo. This space creates more spaces and other spaces wherein it's very difficult for us to navigate. So bukod sa being a battlefield, no, na nagiging battlefields because so many spaces are created, the challenge is these spaces, itong mga espasyong ito ay maaaring mawala at magkaroon uli. No? Ang nangyayari, you see that you just mentioned that back in 2017, 45,000 ang mga nabiktima, and it rose to, within a year, 600,000. So I think it is because of the very nature of the technology and the spaces it created or spawned. These areas are easily created and abandoned. And then the perpetrators will again create more spaces. So, nandito yung walang physical na espasyo, kundi ito ay virtual. We call it virtual, cyber, and it makes it more complicated. These spaces also will create identities. No? It's very important to note that the spaces that we talked about, online spaces, create different identities or different selves. So yung isang tao, maaaring magkaroon ng iba't ibang identities. So it makes it parang napoprobe natin, no? Napoprobe natin yung identidad natin, no? Bilang mga individuals at ng ating mga kabataan, no? The women and children, the vulnerable. Maaari kasing halimbawa lamang sa Twitter. If you go on Twitter, that is a social media platform, you can have different accounts there with different personalities. So, pwede kang merong public account, meron kang private account, meron ding alter, merong rant account. So, apat na yon sa isang social media platform. What about the other platforms? So, you will see that the way that we communicate now and we live our lives, we navigate our lives, it's melded, no? With the offline and online. Yung offline natin, medyo sanay na tayo, no? Kung ano yung mga habitual, daily ongoings natin. Pero yung online natin, kakaiba siya. Kasi wala siyang umaga at gabi. Hindi yung umaga nagsa-start ang isang a day starts with morning and then it ends at night. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have a day and night. So, continuous siya at maaaring ang isang individual ay simultaneous na naka-log on, no? Doon sa iba't ibang mga espasyo. Hindi siya yung, eto muna, gagawin ko muna to, mag-game muna ako, tapos mag-chat ako, tapos ganito yung gagawin ko. Lahat yan sabay-sabay. You can just look at the window of your computer and then, yung aking laptop, makikita mo, may window sa ganito, may window sa gaming, may nagmo-Mobile Legend, etc., etc. So, napaka-komplikado. Now that we are going into a different way of life in this pandemic, I think it's more of a challenge to protect the vulnerable in terms of sexual exploitation and abuse.
Hindi natin namalayan, patapos na pala ang ating oras. Pero huwag po kayong mag-alala. Itutuloy naman natin ang ating napaka-inspiring na conversation with Dr. TP and Sister Mary John Mananzan sa susunod na linggo sa pagpapatuloy ng Kalinga, noon at ngayon.